We are now
live.
live. Yay, there we go. Well, hello, welcome to Around the Bend with myself, Bart, and of course, up there near Scotland is Sean. Sean, how are you, mate?
Did you say near Scotland?
Yeah, you're kind of near, aren't you, really? Because your heart's still in
I'm actually living
Hartlepool.
in Scotland.
I know, but your heart's in Hartlepool.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. Yes, it is.
It's a certain football ground. Let me get that right.
That's my church.
That is your church.
Yes.
So, how have you been, mate? We haven't really spoke since before the last round at Silverstone, and it was quite an interesting weekend.
It was, yeah, and it's just trying to think because it was like a couple of weeks ago this race, but yeah, 5 people are now still in it for the championship.
Yeah, you almost couldn't write it that way, could you?
I'm trying to think when was the last time you had 5 people, actually 5 drivers fighting for the championship, because I can't think of one.
2011.
Who won that then? Was that Giovanardi that won 2011?
I think there was a load. There was like 2 or 3 of them that could win it mathematically going into the last round. There's always a nail biter between a couple, isn't there? Really. There's a very, very interesting. It was very, very interesting that certain drivers having certain bad weekends has really turned the championship on its head and kept it wide open. I mean, Andy Jordan said he was pretty much discounting himself out of the running.
Yep. Yeah, he comes. I've got it written down here. Where is he? He's 5th in the points, and he's 64 points behind Shedden. I mean, he's still mathematically in with the shout of the championship, but you can say he's pretty much eliminated. He needs a miracle and Shedden to retire to own all 3 of them for him to basically win the championship.
Stranger stuff's happened. He only needs 2 good races and everybody else to fall off the track. And Andy wouldn't want to win that way, but it could mathematically still happen. So what about the other protagonists then? I mean, Silverstone was a real culture shock for BMR. They just Plato's car. They just couldn't get on top of the power issues all weekend.
Plato has been struggling over the last couple of races. Well, not races, meetings, I would say, with the car. He struggled at Silverstone, got a flat tyre in the first race, finished way down in the points. He didn't finish way down in the points. He didn't even finish in the points. Yeah. But the other championship contenders in the first race, Jordan came 2nd, Shedden 3rd, Turkington was 5th, Matt Neal was 8th, and Plato was the only guy in the championship that didn't even get a point at all because he had a flat tyre.
Yeah. I think if BMR had a really good weekend that way, we'd be looking at a much tighter championship title, if you get what I mean. I still think, but Plato up until this point, I thought he pretty much not was running away with it, but was in control. And
go on.
I was just going to say, I think Plato chasing is going to be packed with action. I think, if Plato knows all he's got to do is try and win all 3 races, he's going to go flat out. There's going to be some carnage there, I think.
Oh, yeah, it will be. Because there hasn't been a lot of carnage over the other 9 meetings, so there has to be one.
And of course, with BMR, Warren Scott is out, and Alan Menu's in that meeting.
Yeah, and he's been replaced by Alan Menu.
Should be interesting.
It should be. I mean, I can remember the last time Alan Menu went into like a final round trying to help a guy was actually with Giovanardi. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 2010. That was when Jason Plato burnt his hands when he was testing out that car for that rubbish show called Fifth Gear.
Okay.
Yeah, and Menu was actually there to be a 3rd driver for that Volkswagen car to try and stop Plato win the championship. Now Menu's got to try and help Plato win the championship now.
Yeah,
maybe Turkington as well, maybe.
I've got a feeling that Menu's really going to push out Turkington more than Plato for obvious historical reasons. I don't know. I was a bit sorry that Warren Scott couldn't see out the season with a back injury. I mean, it was very lucky it wasn't more serious, and all our best wishes go to him, obviously. But BMR have had a hell of a season. Whatever happens with the championship, they really have set the benchmark as one of the front running teams. What really has saddened me this year is the fact that Motorbase wasn't there sooner.
No. I think if Matt Jackson would have been there for the first one, you would possibly put in 6 drivers in for the championship instead of 5.
Yeah. I think if they've still got the same performance advantage going into 2016, they've got to be a surefire bet for the championship next year. They're really looking strong.
You could also say about the Eurotech team, because they're getting an upgrade in for 2016. And I've heard rumours that possibly Andy Jordan might come back to that team, because he said that he might be struggling with the MG. He's not happy with the MG.
Yeah, you see, the thing with this that's quite interesting, I've just been reading Autosport magazine, and they've said that Team Dynamics...
Autosport.
Yeah, Team Dynamics are going to be running a third car. So they're on about Dynamics having a 4-car team as well, and actually putting the Eurotech cars in there. So that'd be a good shout, you know.
Yeah, I think Andy Jordan is... I mean, all throughout his time, he has been in a Honda, hasn't he? I know he has had some stints in a Vauxhall when he was driving for the Triple Eight team, and now he's with MG. But he's a Honda man, isn't he?
Yeah,
he does well in a Honda.
Andy Jordan's profile, if you look at the Red Bull website as well, they're doing a lot of positioning of Andy Jordan as a sports superstar on the Red Bull website, and as a featured athlete and stuff. And I think it's to try and attract him some bigger sponsorship to really go flat out for the title again.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there seems to be moves afoot to do that. So going into the last round, then, where do you think do you think BMR are going to be on top of it for Brands Hatch? It tends to be, Plato really loves that circuit because it's a longer iteration of it this time round, isn't it? They did the Indy circuit last time. It's a full GP this time round.
GP circuit, yeah. The Hondas also worked there too, but over the last few meetings, when it comes down to decide, it has been raining, hasn't it? Now, we haven't had a lot of wet races. In fact, have we even had a wet race?
Oh, I
don't think we have.
I know for a fact that when they did the Snetterton round, I was there the week before the British touring cars were there, and Snetterton, it tipped it down. It absolutely tipped it down around that week. So I'm not sure whether that was a dry race or a wet race.
I think they were dry races because I did watch the second race and it was dry. But then I had to train back, didn't I?
So you know, historically, Plato's always gone very well there, whatever he's been in. Yeah.
But is it really a Honda circuit too? I mean, Shedden always drives well around there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I will say one thing: Shedden's car seems to be taking the weight better.
Yeah, I just don't understand why Matt Neal isn't with the high positions as Shedden is with the weight ballast. Is it the wrong type of setup, or?
I think it comes very much down to the driving style, really.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Honda, I think we should say congratulations as well to Matt Neal. 25 years in the British touring cars.
I know. So we're watching some of the montage bits of footage as well. Back when he first started out, you know, right at the beginning. Of course, Matt won that independence check for £250,000, didn't he, in the early days at Donington Park?
1999.
Yeah, going right.
I went to song now.
And he's been in Nissans, Mazdas,
Mazdas, I-94, BMWs, Fords, Hondas, Vauxhalls. He's been in a lot.
Yeah, and the thing with it is he's consistently quick in all of them. You know, years before he won the championship, I think he was the People's Champion, and he's still got a lot of fans, you know, all over the BTCC, and rightly so. He's one of the gentleman drivers of the paddock, and he's much loved and much respected by all the fans.
Yeah, I think as well, the master of the late breakers, I think it's fair to be said. After what he did to Adam Morgan and Knockhill in the final races, typical late lunge manoeuvre person, and he always makes it stick.
Yeah, you don't know that Matt Neal's going to pass you until he's overtaken you. He sort of doesn't give you any hints of which way. And the thing with it is he doesn't give you any hints of which side he's going to go neither.
No, he'll just force his car on the inside right there. That's my position. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, that was very clinical. Very, very clinical at the last round. So going into the championships then, looking at the standings that you've got there, who do you fancy to be British Touring Car Champion 2015?
Shedden.
I'm just going to say this for Annie Turner, who's watching this most probably right now. Shedden.
I've seen that comment on Facebook there. I've seen
Yeah,
the comment.
it's a long-standing joke. Me and Annie first, we've been talking to each other obviously for ages on the fan group, and we actually bumped into each other at a concert, completely away from both of us, and recognised each other from Facebook across the crowd.
Yeah.
We were actually stood on two chairs in the Buxton Opera House shouting Plato and Shedden at each other 2 weeks before the season started off. So it looks like...
Was that like? Did you see? What was it? A movie? A film? Oh, no, what a film? I mean,
yeah, we went to see the Levellers in concert.
Is that a band?
Yeah, we went from there. So it's so we were at opposite ends of the crowd, and while everybody was sitting and shuffling in the seats, we were shouting Btcc drivers' names at each other to try and work out who could do it loudly. She's been gunning for Aidan Moffat all year to actually get further up the grid, and definitely is a star for the future. But she predicted Plato would win the championship, and I've said Shedden pretty much since day one.
So, in fact, though, in fairness, though, if we remember going back to the Alton meeting, we were saying Plato was going to win the championship. When he had that double win as well, we were saying that he was going to walk away with it. But
the car at Alton was a cunt. I can't even begin to tell you, Sean. Down the length of the back straight, it was like 5 or 6 cars clear of everybody else.
Oh yeah, it was always well ahead of the guy second place. Even though it had heavy ballast in the car, it still was like 3 seconds quicker.
Yeah, it just disappeared, and Turkington was nowhere that day. Absolutely nowhere. You know, and it wasn't just down to setup; it was down to Plato being comfortable in that car. Mm-hmm. So, do you see any of the outsiders, or do you think it's Plato and Shedden right the way to the checker in race 3 then?
Well, we can count Jordan out. I think we can count Matt Neal out. And I think we can count out Turkington as well.
I don't know about Turks, man. Yeah, I think Turkington's got nothing to lose to have one final punt. I think
Turkington's got nothing to lose, but I mean, he's 32 points behind Shedden.
Yeah, but if another one of the drivers takes Shedden out and wrecks his racing, I'm not saying deliberately, but by accident, you know.
Yeah, everything. When it comes to last few races, it is accidental. Sorry, accidental.
There isn't going to be many panels straight on any cars on Sunday. Let's put it that way. It's going to be action-packed.
Going to be a lot of mirrors being smashed up.
Yeah, I've got an honest belief that if Shedden actually qualifies really well for race 1 and wins race 1, it says championship pretty much, because then he'll be in a position where he's got to, like, I think, set in 4th place to win the title.
Shedden's been good on qualifying. I can't remember what was the meeting. I think it might have been Rockingham. You had like second place. What was second place kilograms in success ballast? 68?
69? 68 kilos, yeah.
What was it? He qualified 3rd.
Yeah.
And everyone, the commentators, the pundits were saying it was a great qualifying effort. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Shedden up there anyway, with now 75 kilos in the car.
Yeah, I really fancy for race 1 qualifying though. I really fancy somebody like Aaron Smith, really like pulling it out of the bag, primarily just to take his sponsors into 2016, and he seems to function better when he's under a lot of pressure for his drive. And I'm not saying Aaron's under pressure for his drive, but he always has a good showing at the last meeting, so he easily takes his sponsors through to the next season.
And also as well, at Brands Hatch, he did very well in the first race meeting, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was the best of the BMR bunch after the first race at Brands Hatch, the Indy circuit.
Yeah, he likes it around there. Really does. He feels comfortable around there.
Yeah.
But going forward, I mean, it's down to Plato and Shedden. You're hopefully going to see clean races. I feel that the reverse grid race isn't really going to be that. I think the championship will be decided then. Where are we with the team championships?
Oh, I haven't done that.
BMR have pretty much got it sewn up, haven't they?
I'll have a look. I'll look it up on the site. Hold on, give me a second.
The other team that's interesting to talk about is WSR, obviously.
They had a very good weekend at Silverstone.
Yeah,
Yeah, Prio won the second race. They got a second place. I can't remember who was second. I think that was Collard or Tordos. Third
Collard.
place as well.
Collard's very, very fighty around Brands Hatch. He likes Brands Hatch.
If he can get his qualifying sorted, you know, I think he would make a bit of an upset for the championship as well.
And also if he can stay on four wheels, which normally happens with him at the end of the season. He normally, you know, likes a trip to the accident unit every now and again, doesn't he, Rob?
Yeah. I've got the championships up here, right? So Team BMR are on 658. Honda Yuasu Racing on 603.
Right, so that couldn't really shift in that because it's only, you were saying the other week, only 2 of the BMR cars are eligible for points, aren't they?
I'm sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Because if all 4 are scoring, surely they've got an unfair advantage.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on wait. I'm looking here. I'm looking at the results here. Team BMR, it says 10th for Knockhill Race 1. I'm just presuming, is it just the first place driver in that team?
Perhaps so.
I'm going to have a look at that. Knockhill Race 1. Who finished 10th? I'm going to have a look. I've got all the results here.
Right, okay. So while Sean's munching on some stats, which I know he loves to do, one of the things that you might want to keep an eye out for is in race 3 is evidently there's lights going to come into play for the first time in the season. It's the only time we get to see a Btcc race going into the dark. And I really like that at the end of the season. It's a really nice touch. The driver, whoever has stood on that podium at the end of the race 3, crowned British Touring Car Champion, almost probably raised the trophy in pitch black darkness.
Yeah.
And it's always a nice touch at the end of the season. It's a really special moment, you know.
Looking at it, Turkington finished 10th at Knockhill.
Right, okay.
So I'm just guessing it's the top driver in their team.
Right, okay.
That they get the team's points. So it's not the top 2, it's just the top 1, I'm guessing. So
Honda still could pinch it from BMR then?
Yeah, could. Yeah, MG's like 130 points behind there. I think they're
really out of it now, aren't they? Yeah. So it's become really a head-to-head. It's going to be interesting to see what happens weather-wise for qualifying, because Brands Hatch tends to be historically, if it rains the day before, if it rains the day before, and then it's dry for race day, there won't be enough rubber down. Everything will be washed away, especially Paddock Hill Bend, which then could make turn 1 really interesting. Really, really interesting for qualifying.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember a couple of seasons ago where they had the pile up into the top? So they'd gone through Paddock Hill and up the rise, and it just ended up looking like a car park and the gravel track at the top.
That was Matt Jackson in the BMW. He lost control on the exit of the first. Oh no, he got his wheels on the curb, didn't he?
Yeah, and on the paint in the wet, and just went.
And then Matt Neal hit in the back of him, and then he got ploughed in the back by another car.
And then everybody parked up there just to take sympathy in him.
Yeah, was that 2008?
Yeah, it was a fair few years ago now, but yeah, you know, if it's that kind of thing with like a wet weather qualifying and then a dry race, the track's not going to come to those drivers, and it's going to be down to feel. People like Matt Neal and Matt Jackson will go really well there.
Yeah, but I expect to see Matt Jackson up there, obviously.
Yeah. You know, what happens if you get somebody who's outside the battle deciding it? Do you think that's fair enough for that? As in, you know, if somebody like Josh Cook or Aidan Moffat, or you know, any one of those sort of midfield runners, Dave Newsham or someone like that, ends up scoring points and taking points away in the reverse grid race, for example?
No, I think they should just let them race. I mean, going back to Silverstone, Dave Newsham finished 4th.
Yeah,
he was ahead of some championship contenders. So you know, why would he slow down to let them buy and bout for the championship? He's there to race for himself.
I'm not saying let him buy. I'm just saying, like, you know, I think the top teams are going to try and win the championship in the first 2 races. I don't think it's going to be a title decider in race 3 anymore. I think Shedden's going to go for Powell, go for the win in race 1, successfully carry the ballast in race 2, and go for top 3, and that should be enough to put him over the line. And then literally, you know, it's all hell breaks loose then. I mean, if Plato mathematically stands a chance of gaining on him, and he's, you know, got the reverse draw grid and then pair alongside each other, and, you know, it's Matt Neal, it's like Shedden, Plato, then Matt Neal on the grid. There's going to be some fireworks already.
Yeah. If it is Brands, if that is going to be a dry race, I think the choosing of the tyres is going to be a very critical thing.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, where do you think they'll run the softs there? Because evidently they're going to use the longer track. So where do you think the softs are going to be using? Race 1 or race 3?
I would say race 1, because they want to start in the pole for race 2.
Yeah, okay. So they'll get the bad tyre out of the way in race 1 then. Yeah.
Although saying that, in that Silverstone race, there was a few punctures as well, and they were all hard compound tyres. Plato had one, Jackson had one, Andy Jordan and Aaron Smith, they all had punctures at Silverstone.
Very, very different surface there then.
Yeah, different circuit, yeah.
I think that Brands Hatch, with the sort of uphill and down dale approach to that circuit, there's a lot of rises and falls in that circuit, especially the full GP, whereas Silverstone's pretty flat, to be fair. Unless you're doing the full, there's curbs are a bit more. I mean, there's only 4 corners literally on the national circuit that they use for British touring cars. I was really disappointed that Alan Gow didn't take the suggestion that was put by one of the fans group to him about extending it through the Abbey, and, you know, it added about another 6 corners to it, and I think that would have been really interesting.
In fairness, though, the race at Silverstone was pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of overtakes, a lot of good passes, and lead changes as well. So
again, I'd just like to see him run on the full GP circuit. I just think it'd be a much bigger spectacle.
But then it'd be too long, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you know, it's up to Dunlop then it's a different challenge when they go there, isn't it? It becomes more like an endurance.
Speaking about the you were saying about the VW and Plato struggling with the car. This might be a stupid question to ask, but we know Volkswagen's been in the news with the company with their 20% the clean air rules. Do you think that is going to affect the BMR team? As in,
with regards to
this whole thing, the decline with this clean air rules or whatever.
Well, this is what's creasing me up. First of all, I'd like to say that I have joined in fully with this by having my car recoiled. So I've got one of the engines that's been cheating. A complete fluke. I put the number into the website. He went 0 points. I think BMR aren't a works factory team, remember? So, you know, it isn't like VW is supporting the engines. I think where it's going to really hit British motorsport is for the single-seater categories that go, certainly in the international race series, where, like International Formula 3, for example, the winning engines are VW engines. And it could have something to do with their... I don't think the emissions thing is that big a thing for a race car.
I thought it was Delara or Mugen, Honda or something like that. I thought the Formula 3 cars were.
No, they're all... the bulk of the teams that are winning are either Mercs now or Volkswagen. VW's been the...
What do I know?
Yeah, VW have been the sort of power engine of choice for international F3 for the last few seasons, you know, the front-running teams and stuff. I think from a marketing point of view, it's not going to be that great for them coming into 20, you know. But then again, it could work into BMR's favour, because if they've got to spend money for marketing to re-establish the brand with the public, what better way of doing that than advertising it with the British Touring Car Championship?
Here we go. Question here. Instead of change the whole question, instead of if you are Alan Gow, scrap that. You are Warren Scott.
Right.
What would you do?
No.
Hang on. What would you do for 2016? Would you stick with a VW or would you look for a completely new manufacturer?
I'd stick with the VW. There's way too much money invested in them cars and the 4 cars. They're on top of it. They've given it a good run for the money this season. Real fans know that it isn't a VW engine really in that car anyway. It's one of the NGTC spec engines anyway. It's just a silhouette really of what a Passat actually is.
All right, okay.
You know, I think the VW getting involved and actually trying to do the marketing thing would be very good for BMR. I mean, you'll only have to remember the last 3 or 4 car team that was in British touring cars manufacturer base was Seat. And
you're thinking of the World Touring Cars, do I?
No. When they were actually in the British Touring Car Championship, and you had Luke Hines in one, Plato in another. It was like,
as far as I know, there was only like 2. They only had 2 Seats. If you're thinking of World Touring Cars, they had about 3 or 4.
What I'm saying to you is that I remember going to a British touring car round a few years ago, and for the most cars had a garage and a paddock. I remember Seat cars for Plato's car that year having a village that you walked around. It was they must have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds in the marketing. If VW have got to do a public sort of campaign, you know, having Jason Plato as a brand advisor is not a bad move to have in your arsenal at all.
No, that's true.
You know, bearing in mind that, you know, Plato's company, Jason's got his own company called Brand Pilot. They're responsible for putting most of the advertising on most of the cars on the grid.
All right.
So, you know, it's
learn something every day.
Yeah, if you actually look on his race suit, it says Brand Pilot on it as well. Yeah, and he's, you know, the Tesco deal that he's got on his helmet. You know, Jason negotiated that deal. He's a hell of a businessman.
Oh yeah,
Plato. A lot of people don't know. Plato's very, very, very tricky customer when it comes to doing business. As in regards to, like, if there was a brand new sponsor to come on into the BTCC now with bags of money, I guarantee Plato would bag them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very, very switchy. He can spot an opportunity, can Jason? Really can.
Yeah. I just feel so sad that the touring car season's coming to an end.
Oh,
and then we have to wait. Well, if we are doing this Christmas idea, then we're going to have to wait another 6 months for the first round of 2016.
I know. I'm weaning myself off by doing. I'm actually going as soon as the touring car season finishes. I book myself tickets for 2 rallies. So I'm literally going from there and then going to watch a couple of the local rallies close to me. Just so I can fix the most.
I'm going to be like Sleeping Beauty and just fall asleep for 6 months and then.
No, you're not.
And then when my mum wakes up saying, "Oh look, BTCC's on," I'm getting up.
I'll tell you what you'll be doing. You're going to be watching. You're going to be watching Motors TV and trying to find a show that doesn't feature David Addison.
That's impossible. Block Paint GT Series. Oh, I like them. The first round. No, switching over. What's on Challenge?
I think there's going to be an increase on the Dave channel of people watching reruns of Top Gear because there will be no motorsport on, you know. And we were saying about this the other day. Wouldn't it be interesting if the MSA sponsored it so they could have like a smaller 6-round touring car winter series?
Oh, like what they do with like Formula Fords or that?
Yeah. So, you know, so you get these drivers who are in Ginetta Juniors and then perhaps you borrow them last season's car that's on display somewhere, you know. So there's still kind of new NGTC touring cars, but they perhaps have a 6-round championship and like the lot from the Ginetta Juniors and the Formula Ford and the support package all get the champions of those series all get assigned a car.
See this, Alan Gow. Listen to what Bart has to say, because I think we need more touring cars in the winter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have to go through hibernation, and it's horrible, you know. I think next season's going to be a bit more of a clash as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the TV figures for British touring cars next year, because evidently Formula One have expanded their calendar. and a
Who
short.
cares about Formula One?
Well, you see, the thing with it is
Btcc don't need DRS systems to overtake.
No, they don't. But what they do need to keep their sort of fan base hooked into having 8 hours of this on a television is viewing figures. And if there's more races that clash with F1 and Lewis Hamilton's at the top of his game and does win the World Drivers' title, you know, it could be that it impacts on the viewing figures for ITV4. Don't know what your thoughts are about that.
When was the last Formula One race? How long ago was that? Was that last week or what?
Yeah, a couple of weeks now.
Who cares? I don't watch Formula One now. It doesn't bother me. I'm a Btcc loyal. I watch it through thick and thin.
Yeah. It's just me. It's like, you know, I can just see a lot of people who are watching this. The audiences are up this year, and I think the audiences are up because it hasn't clashed with F1 as regards to into previous seasons, you know. And it's just going to be interesting how ITV4 and Alan Gow trying to make the package even more exciting, if that was possible. Because I don't know about you, but it's Thursday now. We're recording this. I'm on the edge of my seat for Sunday already. I've got to go to work tomorrow. And work.
Oh, wait a minute.
And work.
Is Btcc on this Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to have an all-nighter.
You having an all-nighter?
The car race at Bathurst is on. And I'm going to be watching it.
Is it Bathurst 20?
Yeah, the 1,000 kilometres, the Mount Panorama.
No.
It's on at the weekend. And I'm going to watch it all.
Right, because I think the WEC are on as well. The World Endurance Championship are on as well in Japan, aren't they? Because I know John Hindhaugh from Midweek Motorsports been posting stuff up today saying he's near Mount Fiji, but he normally does a commentary on that for Motors TV and Eurosport.
Well, who cares? John Hindhaugh says an umpty. He doesn't like Btcc. He can pop off.
Oh, mate, don't make enemies, man. You know, you're axing the thing with that. Hindy's a good guy, man. Seriously, he's a top boy.
I do love his commentary, though. He's like so excited. He's the one that makes it go, "Oh my God!" He's actually he makes the racing more exciting when he's commentating. Though.
I'm telling you now, you need Le Mans 3 a.m. and John Hindhaugh on. That's all you need for a perfect motorsport weekend, mate. Le Mans every single year without fail.
Do you know, I was actually watching the streaming of the American Le Mans series and had Hindy commentating on it. Yeah. And it was good fun. It was good fun.
And also there was no David Addison inside.
No, there wasn't, no.
I still think Motors TV should be brave and let me and you do the commentary just for one race.
I'll be like, this is how you do it, David Allison.
Well, you know, we were sending a message. We're sending a message back. It's funny that we've had a little influence this time round. I mean, we don't want to take too much credit, but we kicked up a fuss about Paul O'Neill not being on the Ginetta Juniors commentary, and last race he was back on it again.
Oh, you got to love Paul. You have to love Paul.
I have never met such an excited Scouser. He's just a ball of energy. He really is. I love the guy to bits. I think he's fabulous as commentator.
Full of emotion as well. I mean, you know, when he gets a podium, he's all emotional. It's good to see. You want to see that raw emotion, and you don't see a lot of that from touring car drivers these days. But with Paul O'Neill, he was just something else.
Yeah, you know, it'd be great to see him back on the grid again for one more season. It really would. It really would. I still think ITV should enter a car and have him
Team Btcc.
And literally have him drop him in the pack and follow him for a season for a documentary. I think that'd be great viewing.
That would be good, actually, have a Btcc documentary. I mean, if Formula One does documentaries over a guy who's just spoiled, rotten, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, they could surely do it for Btcc.
No, but what I'm saying is put Paul O'Neill in a car, you know, and get him and follow him diary style all the way through the season, every test session, every whatever, and open it up to everybody on social media. That would be awesome. And I'm not joking now. It wouldn't cost them anything, because if they wanted to crowdfund that, I would gladly put money into that. I would
I'd,
love to see him in a car with ITV4 plastered all over it. I think that'd be epic.
I'd love to see the cars testing on TV, because I think they do it with NASCAR over in the States. They do like testing, they do practice and that. I'd love to see like if BTCC could just copy what they're doing with NASCAR and just like have testing on TV. I know they do qualifying live on the laptop or streaming. I don't know if they do it on the TV now. I'm not too sure.
Not at all. I don't think so. I think it's all on the web now. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be really good to see it on TV.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they ought to copy one thing from Formula One and have a young driver day, because we went to Silverstone to watch the young driver test for a few seasons back now, and it was Carlos Sainz and
Junior.
Carlos Sainz Jr. and Vettel was testing the car one day. I don't know how he qualified for it, but basically watching all these people, because Vettel was like the big name on the track, watching all these young guns trying to go faster than Vettel was something else. And I honestly think if you've got to like go to the chat, you know, they ought to like have a young drivers report where if you were, say you win the Ginetta Juniors, you should get a shootout for, you know, in a touring car if you want to be in the touring car package. Just Clio Cup, certainly.
But think about it though. I mean, the Ginetta Junior drivers, they're like what, 12 to 16?
Doesn't matter.
So you're going to see like someone that's going to be like 14 years old and be the youngest ever driver in the British touring cars. A 14-year-old.
I'm not like, if they're quick enough, they're quick enough.
They can't drive a single-seated car until they're what, 16?
15 now for the MSA.
15 now. All right, okay.
But what I'm saying to you is most of the people who are running at the front of Ginetta Juniors are 16, 17 anyway. They're at the top end of that game. You tend to have a development season, do mid-pack, and then go to the front and then win the championship or thereabouts and perhaps have a second year. Then they disappear off into the formulas anyway.
Oh, they could just still go in the Ginetta regime and then just go in for the Super Cup. Because just recently I seen on Facebook a young Ginetta driver called Ben Green. He's going up to the Ginetta Super Cup for 2016.
Right, okay.
So I don't know who else as well. I only just noticed it on Facebook. And so there could be another one. I mean, Tom Ingram is a good example. You know, he won the Ginetta Juniors and then went up to Ginetta Super Cup and won the championship a few years later.
Honestly, you know, and again, Tom Ingram, you know, 2016, will he stay in that team?
He's been really loyal to that team. Although it's a family-run team, that is it not?
It is. But what I will say is, on his overalls, he's got that BRDC Superstars badge, which means he's been handpicked.
Was it no KX?
No. The British Racing Drivers Club picks so many drivers to sponsor to head to the big time, and they call them their superstars, and they pick about 5 or 6 drivers. And when you think about the list of people who've been a BRDC superstar, they've all ended up being future champions. Now Tom Ingram's been picked as one of those guys. So they are pushing him for stardom, and the driver coach for that particular series, there's basically the team manager of that series. You know, that sort of team is Tim Harvey. Yeah. One of the driver coaches, Tom Onslow Cole, and the other one's Jason Plato. So,
and you know how, and if you've seen from the Rockingham race, Jason Plato gave Tom Ingram a hell of a lot of praise.
Yeah. I honestly, if Warren Scott finishes racing, I can't see Plato having it in his contract that will allow Menu to race against him for an entire season. And I honestly believe that Tom Ingram, the shock of 2016 could be that Tom Ingram steps up to BMR to replace Warren Scott.
Bit of a big shout, like.
But you've got to remember the British Racing Drivers Club are behind him. It's a massive organisation, that. It's a huge organisation.
Or will he stay loyal and just stick with the family team?
He may well do, but, you know, that car's got to go forward. It can't stay where it is. It needs a lot of development to run at the front because Tom's dragging performance, and that's no disrespect to the team. It's down to budget. plain and
Yeah.
simple. If they had the budget that BMR or Honda had, they'd constantly be winning races and be right at the front and there or thereabouts. It's down to the budget that they've got. They've got the skill in the team. It's being able to throw £500,000 at the car before the season starts.
Yeah. And it's just, are they going to stick with the Aventus? Because the Aventus is now becoming to be out of date as well.
Well, yeah, no, but we've got some other manufacturers coming in. You know, we'll have some other manufacturers coming in, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that's going to be quite sad as well is going to be Sherman. We're going to see the last of Sherman and
but
else.
you know,
what the other name was, Panzer. That was it. We're going to see the end of Panzer and Sherman.
You see them things. Let's just put it this way: they are a fan favourite, and they're in the fans' heart. And there is no way that car is going to be destroyed. And if Rob put that on any of his future sponsors' stands, people would travel for miles around just to take a photograph of it. You know,
honestly, it's going to be quite a surreal thing come 2016. What the manufacturer is going to be, and it's not going to be an Audi. Although it could be an Audi.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different. What's the word? Chassis.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly believe going forward that he's gonna perhaps change manufacturers altogether. I think that's going to be an interesting one. You know,
don't know which one.
Yeah, I think Kia coming in is a good shout. I honestly do. Established brand in the UK now. You know, the cars are getting good reviews. It'd be a really nice marketing coup to do that and get some big name drivers to go in, and perhaps, you know, might even see Rob Austin and Tom Ingram together in the same team if it's a manufacturer coming in. And if we have a couple of manufacturers come in, it could be the start of Super Touring again.
Bring back Volvo, bring back Nissan, bring back Peugeot.
Now here's an interesting one. You know, today it's been spotted. If you go onto the Radio Le Mans feed on Facebook, the S40 has been tested, World Touring car. A brand new.
Do you know, I actually seen it on Kieran Gallagher's Facebook.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Kieran knows about it. But you know, it's I honestly believe that, you know, wouldn't be. Volvo said they weren't going to do any more motorsport, and then they keep taking these cars for testing. So are they going to be blindsiding everybody and then entering everything?
Well, I do recall Volvo being in the World Touring cars in the noughties when they had Rydell.
Yeah, they are going to. Yeah, but about 12 months ago, the manufacturer of Volvo actually turned around and said they were pulling all their motorsport everywhere and putting the Volvo brand into round the world sailing, because the guy who actually runs Volvo's big into his round the world yacht racing.
Who is this? Ben Ainsley?
No, like proper big, like multi-million-pound, you know.
What a numpty.
Yeah, so he's going to do all that. So, but they're all getting into it. I mean, Adrian Newey from Formula One, Adrian Newey, the designer of the Red Bull and many other cars, he's actually given up, you know, working for Red Bull as much now, purely so he can design one of these boats for the round the world race.
I tell you what, his son is going to be one to look out for, Harry.
Yeah, really. Yeah, so much, yeah. Very impressive. He's learning that car really quickly as well.
Yeah, doing well in the Formula 4 Championship, as commentated by David Addison.
Yeah, here we go. Here's an interesting one for you. Ricky Collard has been put forward for the Autosport Award. So the winner of that gets £100,000 for their next season, and also a drive of a current Formula One car and a test for McLaren. Okay.
Yeah.
With it being a McLaren, he most probably has to take his own jump leads anyway. But apart from that,
shots fired at McLaren.
Yeah, just Ron, get your finger out, Ron. That's what we're saying. Come on. Button shouldn't be sitting in that heap of crap. I'm sorry, he just shouldn't. He deserves a better car, god damn it. Yeah.
Get it out. Come on, get your anger out. Come on.
Sure, we're going completely off the subject because we're supposed to be talking touring cars. But what's like really getting me about the whole thing with.
Could this be a what's on your plate moment here?
Yeah, it's just like I suppose the point I'm trying to make is, you have these manufacturers come in and forge links, and it's like they commit to these massive contracts with drivers and everything else. And when you think about it, although the Super Touring was spiraled out of control in the 90s, and when you watch like documentaries with Tim Harvey, he was saying like some of the drivers were on like, six-figure salaries and things like that.
Yeah.
Actually, compared to something like Formula One, Honda actually having a manufacturer's team would be way cheaper than them having a Formula One team. Be way cheaper. And
So
actually,
what you're saying about Ricky Collard then?
Well, what I'm saying is like Ricky Collard is tearing up the actual formula, the MSA formula part with that, and then he'll most probably, and I hope so, win the overall thing and become a McLaren test driver for a day. And then that should elevate him into either GP3, GP2, and hopefully onto Formula One, which is what Ricky wants to do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But surely, if the major sponsor for that is McLaren and Honda, surely in the interim, it's of importance in the UK for Honda to sell cars, to sponsor Team Dynamics more and turn them into a manufacturer team and put Ricky Collard in the Btcc for a season, because he isn't going to jump from MSA Formula to Formula One. He isn't going to do that.
No, I think
most of the British drivers.
I'm not a fan of Lewis Hamilton, but I respected what he did. I mean, like he was in Formula 3 for a little while, and then he went into Euro Formula 3, then he went into GP2, and then he went into Formula 1. I don't like what Max Verstappen did when he was in Euro Formula 3 and then into Formula 1. I don't rate that at all, because to me, I think that's too rushed. He's just a young kid, 17 years old. This is only I believe, his second ever year in a single seater, and he's in Formula 1. He should have took a lot more time. And I think with what we're saying about Ricky Collard, he's with the Ardent team. Yeah. The Ardent team's got like a team in GP3, I think, and in GP2. So he'll probably might stay with them, go into GP3. Then, if he does well in GP3, maybe head into GP2 and then see what lies then afterwards.
I'm no disrespect to anybody else on that MSA Formula grid, because they're all amazing, right? It's just that I do genuinely believe that Ricky Collard and Lando Norris are the real deal.
Yeah, they are.
I think you will see both of them in Formula One.
I would love to see them as teammates, because them two get on really well.
I honestly do believe that Ricky, if he stays doing that ladder of F1, will come into F1 perhaps later in his career, where with like a shed load of experience. But it reminds me a few seasons back. I mean, evidently he had the health issues, but Dean Stoneman was he's building his way back up now, and he's just left the Renault Formula 3.5 litre stuff and going into GP2, they reckon, next season.
Yeah.
I mean, that boy had cancer and recovered, so he had a real battle to even get back into a car.
Yeah.
And that did help. That did put like 2 years out of his ladder climbing career, if you get what I'm saying. But Ricky Collard, I think, is going to go through all those formulas like that. And I do believe that, like Lando Norris, I'm not even sure if he's managed to make the final for the Autosport one, the Autosport Award. But I've got a feeling that Lando Norris has got a different game plan, as in, if he could jump 3 formulas, he'll sort of just do it. Whereas I think Ricky's actually going through the ladder, and it isn't that he's not doing it correctly. For me, him and Lando Norris are such a talented pair of drivers. Mm-hmm. You would have thought that the sponsors would have been falling over themselves, to get them into them sort of drives from, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the MSA formula really, I mean, if you think about Ginetta Juniors, you've got somewhere to go with that Ginetta package. You can go from juniors to the Super Cup to like Le Mans 24-hour racing and endurance racing and British GT and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If you're in the Clio Cup, you can go from Clio Cup to British touring cars. That's the path.
Yeah.
If you're in MSA Formula, where do you go?
Well, if you win the championship, you will get points for your
super license.
Super license, yeah.
But you've got points for your super license, and all that's great. But if you haven't got the £4 million to step up to GP3,
you need to rely heavily on getting some sponsors.
Yeah. You know, whereas I think, and that this is, you know, I think the sort of the sponsors and the buzz that's around Lando Norris, I don't think Lando Norris would struggle to pull in £4 million worth of sponsorship in comparison to Ricky Collard, who seems to like sort of really like, he's very much like his dad in grafting to get his sponsors and everything. I'm not saying Lando doesn't. I'm just saying, like, you know, there seems to be a different mindset around the fact that Lando's a world karting champion and Ricky's a real racer, you know. And I just don't want Ricky Collard to get. Basically, what I'm saying is, I don't want to see Ricky Collard lost in the pack of British motorsport. He deserves to be at the highest of his game, really.
Although, saying that though, when you're saying about these single-seater drivers, I've seen a lot of them actually doing endurance racing. I mean, James Collado, you know, he was supposed to be into Formula One, being like the test driver for Force India. I only just seen him on Motors TV doing that GT Asia race in Kuala Lumpur.
Duncan Tappy's another one as well. I mean,
Duncan Tappy, he was there too. I think he was in the Maserati.
Formula Renault. A few years back, I mean, he was just ridiculous in Formula Renault on the British touring car package. He was just a class. He was a class above the rest. He really was. And Duncan's kind of got lost into his had works drives, and then they never seemed to work out for him.
I think it must be very hard for like a young, promising driver that wants to go into a career in single seaters to get a ride in a top single seaters championship. You know, and then they can, if they can't get that, then they could probably rely on maybe endurance racing, like a lot of other young single seater drivers are doing.
But this is what I'm saying, going back to my original point. I think some of those drivers could make the crossover to British touring cars and be ridiculously good. Like change the old guard overnight. You know, you get somebody. I think Ricky Collard. I'll make a bold claim. I think if Ricky Collard and Lando Norris were in British touring cars right now, I think either one of them could be in the run for the title. I think they're that quality of driver.
Although it would be a very rare thing to see, like a driver that's raced in touring cars to be in Formula One. I mean, the only one I know is Gabriele Tarquini.
Yeah,
because he was a touring car champion in '94, and in '95 he drove for the Tyrrell team for Formula One.
Yeah,
or the test driver for Tyrrell.
But it just you know, the MSA formula, when it first come back as Formula Ford was coming back into it, and they got rid of the Formula Renault thing, I was kind of sad because I really liked the Formula Renaults. And the first season of Formula Ford didn't really grab me. But I've got to admit, this new MSA formula has had me on the edge of my seat. It's been a really interesting season.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Formula 4. I mean, I was happy to see Formula 4 on the Btcc package, but since when they put a front wing and a rear wing, nah, didn't like it. It's always got to be that big, like slinky, like thin tires, massive track rods, thin chassis with no front wing, no rear wing. That to me, that was Formula Ford, not like. With the front wing and the rear wing.
You see, the old thing is it's meant to be a proving ground for future formulas, and you know everything's slicks and wings, isn't it? So that's what they've got to have.
I mean, even with the Formula Ford, they only had 10 cars racing, and then Formula Renault they had about 9, 10 as well.
Yeah, so Formula Renault was a seriously expensive season there. So the other ones.
Go before I was saying there, you were saying about Lando Norris. Hopefully, he should be all right for the final meeting because I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube. He took a nasty knock at Hockenheim.
I didn't see that at all. I've been work for 2 days, mate.
He was trying to overtake another driver. I can't remember what series it was. It might be Euro Formula 3 or Formula 4. He was trying to overtake a guy going into, after the hairpin, you got the fast right-hander.
Yeah.
At Hockenheim, and then you got the slow left-hander corner. He was going to overtake a guy, and then made contact. Like I think it was rubber on rubber, and then went into the air and started flipping. And
I hope he's okay. Yeah, that's the ones. It's when it tends to be with drivers when they have lateral movement side to side. That's when they can get some real big injuries. And flips tend to be okay, apparently. I wouldn't want to be sat in one. Let's put it this way when it was doing it.
No.
Going through this, I mean, we sort of rounded up MSA Formula and sort of expand on for BTCC. Any standout drivers in any of the other support races this time round?
I would have to say Dan Camish.
Yeah, I was just going to mention him as well. Porsche Super Cup for him next year, no doubt.
Maybe FIA's Porsche Super Cup.
Yeah, he's. I think we've lost him to the world of British motorsport now. That boy's an international GT driver, isn't he?
I mean, it also helps when you've got Tim Harvey as your mentor. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, but there's nobody finer in a Porsche than Tim was, I'm sure. Michael Meadows again had a really good season. I thought it was really sort of cheering him on all the way through. But Dan was the class of the field. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
Was. The other one I was going to say for this as well is, Ginetta Juniors and then Ginetta GT Super Cup. It hasn't really grabbed me this season the same as the Clios, and I haven't really mentioned that much in these shows this season because I just haven't really been that on the edge of my seat, especially the Clio Cup. It's been once you sorted out what was happening between the first three, the rest was like so.
Yeah.
Not saying I wasn't excited. It just didn't. I wasn't involved in it. It didn't grab me as a fan.
No, I think the Ginetta Super Cup hasn't been as good as it was the previous years. No. I think it also doesn't help when you've got not a lot of cars in the field. You want more cars to be more competitive.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Super Cup doesn't have a lot of cars. The Clio Cup really doesn't have a lot of cars, which it should do. I think there is going to be a brand new car for 2016, which I think a lot more drivers are going to be in it. Which I hope that's the case. But with the Clio Cups, it's either been Wharton Neals, Ashley Sutton,
Ashhand,
and also as well coming into the mix now, trying to battle is what's his name?
That helps me.
What's his name?
Let me guess. He's driving a Clio.
Him. Oh, what is his name? He's like the most well-known driver in Renault Clios in BT in Britain. What's his name? Oh my God, Sean. What's his name? That's going to annoy me. This is really going to annoy me.
I was just going to say, what you're actually witnessing now, if you're watching this right now, you're witnessing Sean have a meltdown. Go on, mate.
It's Colin Stankam's team. He used to drive for it. Paul Revett. That's it.
There we go.
There you go.
What gets me about that is it's been such a memorable season that I've just been like, whatever. I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of this new shape of Clio. So I think it's because the season a couple of seasons back when they were a different shape Clio, kind of like that car just to look at. Yeah. So I just sort of they seem to be a bit tall for me this time around. They don't look as racy. They just look really. I'm sure they're very, very quick on the M1, but they just from a spectacle, they don't really grab me the same anymore. You don't seem to have them tearing in the corners exactly the same as they used to.
I would like to see Paul Revett in BTCC.
Yeah, I would. And Phil Glue, actually, from a few years back. He was very, very good. The what's really interesting about that as well is if you could remove, do you think for certain rounds of the championship, we should mix it up a bit with the British Touring Car Grid as well? Because, the rounds that we had where we do things like put the Scottish Mini Cooper Challenge in, I really enjoy that when we just have a race that we don't normally see on there. And I think they're missing an opportunity to have one race in a race meeting, each meeting, where they have a round of a championship they wouldn't normally have, because it'd be great.
Oh, so like with the other, like the unsung drivers get a mention, and then possibly get a look in to be in the BTCC package for next year.
Well, not just that, the sponsors as well, for the ones who sponsor and don't get TV coverage, but more importantly than any of those things, it makes people want to go out and watch races they can afford. Everybody can't afford to go and watch a BTCC round at 45, 50 quid. Runs at £200 when you take your family. But hang on, they can watch a Mighty Minis race where it's like 10 quid to get in. Do you get what I mean? So, like, have a Mighty Minis race, Production Golf GTI Championship, Fun Cup as well. I mean, the Fun Cup's an immense series. I love that place.
I don't know about Fun Cup. They're about what? How long are their races?
About 3-4 hours, but you'd have the highlights, wouldn't you? You'd just make it a half-hour highlights package and put it with the qualifying on the Saturday, which would extend the qualifying coverage out.
Yeah, but how are they going to race? They can't race on the Sunday when there's BTCC cars and...
No, but what I'm saying is you'd race them on the Saturday on the qualifying day, after the BTCC qualifying's happened, and then you just show the highlights on the Sunday, the race package.
So I don't know about that being a 4-hour race. I mean, I don't recall a BTCC meeting would actually have a race that will have them for 4 hours.
No, but what I'm saying is like, just as it... I mean, like, short sprint races, there's loads of things. I mean, the BRSCC and BARC, I'm just trying to think who else as well. I mean, the MSV circuits.
I mean, what you're saying is, I do understand where you're coming from, but just not Fun Cup.
No, like F4, the BRDC F4 challenge as well.
I only hear more of David Addison's voice on Formula 4, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, not necessarily dropping any of the races we currently got, but having an extra 15-minute race and going, yeah, okay, this week we're in Thruxton, and Thruxton have their own classic car race meeting, and it goes there 3 times a year, and one of the meetings. So the people who drive there 2 or 3 times a year and never get a look in from televisions for their sponsors get an opportunity to be on television. I think that's fabulous.
Well, maybe not Formula 4, but what you're saying with the Mini Cup, the like Volkswagen Cup series you want about, definitely, yeah.
The historics as well.
Historics, yeah. But the Super Tourers.
Yeah, I mean, the Super Tourers is nice to see every meeting, but they're not a level playing field. You've got different cars. Although it's Super Touring, it's only 1 or 2 cars that can win it because they're the later generation ones that were £3 million worth of car built. You've got one of them going against an old Lotus Cortina. It's a no contest, isn't it? You want period cars. I think they should just. They should be able to bid for it, and Alan Gow should come on every race and go, right, okay, we're at Rockingham next meeting, and we're going to have 750 Motors Club hot ashes, and it's all the Citroen Saxos and all the junior drivers, and it's just highlighting something else that's happening in UK motorsport. I think ITV and British Touring Cars as a brand have built a fantastic platform to actually put other meetings on there.
Yeah. I would go for that as well.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know. That's my get it off your Plato anyway.
All right, that's your one. Okay, right. I've got What's my one? Right, it's going back to Matt Neal.
Mate, you do know. I'm just pointing this out. I'm going to point a couple of things out right now. First of all, Matt Neal's got a black belt in karate. Two, I know your record of get it off your Plato. And three, Matt, whatever comes out of Sean's mouth right now is Sean's news, not mine.
It's nothing about Matt at all. I was on the BTCC YouTube page, right? And they were celebrating Matt Neal's 25 years in the touring cars, yeah?
Yeah.
The video only lasted 33 seconds.
Crazy.
Why did it last 33 seconds for a guy who's been in BTCC for 25 years? Did it really deserve 33 seconds?
I think
No.
I honestly believe perhaps they're going to do another program with him at the end, perhaps.
I don't know. It just really annoyed me. I mean, for the guy, I mean, he even made history when you said earlier in this conversation about when he won the first independent to win a BTCC race and won $250,000.
Yeah.
That wasn't even shown. That was not even shown, in it.
No.
And I don't know. It just annoyed me. I mean, Jason Plate was nearly going to be in the BTCC now for 20 years now. I think within a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe 4 years' time, it'll be 20 years because I know he missed 2002 and 2003.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in touring cars, if he does, for 20 years. And I mean, how long is that video going to be on for? It just annoyed me that. It did annoy me. It didn't deserve 33 minutes. It deserved a lot longer.
Yeah, it's 33 minutes or 33 seconds.
Did I say minutes? Did I say?
Yeah.
I meant to say seconds.
Yeah. So less than a minute for a guy who's had a 25-year career. Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's like basically nearly a year a second.
You know? Yeah. Not really much to add to that. That sucks. It's very rare.
It's very rare. Wasn't it?
That's bummed me out. That's really bummed me out, Matt. You know, mate, seriously, you should have your own documentary, and I think it should be the bit where you threaten Jason Plato in the pit lane at Rockingham on a loop for about 10 minutes.
Or even the battles with Jason Plato himself. I mean, if you get other drivers that, like other numpties, like Lewis Hamilton winning the championship and, like I says, get born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and Phil Taylor, the best darts player in the world, he gets a documentary. Why don't Matt Neal? Phil Taylor's played darts for 25 years and he gets a documentary. Matt Neal's raced in touring cars for 25 years and gets nothing.
Yeah, Matt Neal. Do you want me to tell you what we need? We're starting a round the bend crowdfunding campaign. I am demanding that we make Matt Neal the movie.
And who's going to play Matt Neal? Samuel Jackson? No.
I think you, Sean.
I need to be like 6'11".
Don't worry about
5'12", and I need to lose a lot of weight.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry. Photoshop, mate. We've got it all sorted, and Photoshop will stretch you out. We'll be fine.
What about the belly? I need to go inwards.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. That'd be amazing. That would.
I can't wear the corset because then the buttons will be like.
Yeah, I just think I think the funny, and honestly, deadly seriously now, it would be interesting to actually get a comment. Has anybody else complained about that to ITV? Because I should imagine that would have caused uproar.
I left the comment on there.
Well, we know you would.
Yes, I did.
That went without saying.
Yeah, and someone else did as well. Someone said, did it really deserve 33 seconds? But when I saw it the first time, it was on the Saturday when I saw it, and there was only a few views, and there was only like 2 comments, and then I was like, "Here we go."
Yeah, on your way. There you go. Yeah, it says it's one of those. So Sunday, then we're watching the finale of what's been a really interesting and fantastic season.
Yeah.
Going forward. It's been fun doing these. We've had some real fun times. Had a few technical issues along the way. Highlights have been getting drivers on like Max Coates, who came on to speak to us as well, which was really good. Really, such a shame that his drive actually fell through at the last minute as well, because he's an immensely nice guy and an immensely talented person. And also, I'd just like to say, I don't think the paddock's going to be the same next season without Kieran Gallagher. And I think if any team are looking for a safe pair of hands to race really hard, you could do a lot worse than re-signing that boy. He deserves being the Btcc.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah. It's he deserves to be there.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what went on behind closed doors, and I don't think we should, you know, talk about like
Comment,
exactly
no.
what happened. You comment because he didn't post it up on the reason why. So, you know.
Yeah, it's like me now, you know. Again, you know, we sort of say our own personal things on here, and we want people to go and join in and say what they feel as well. You know, there's certain things that we ourselves disagree on and agree on, and as well, you know, and that gets quite heated sometimes. But it's why we have fun doing this, you know.
Or it doesn't get shown on YouTube.
Yeah, it's one of those. We
It's
do.
Gareth.
Yeah, you might want to. Oh my God! Right. Okay. Well, it's been nice broadcasting these while it lasted.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, until 5 years time. But
Yeah, sponsorship for this going forward is not looking good, is it? Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you're saying about Lewis Hamilton and all that lot before, you know. Yeah, Nick not being in this round as well, that's upset me a bit. I really wanted to see him finish the season out.
But it's good to see Jake Hill back.
Yeah.
Good to see him back.
It is, but you know, Nick's story there, you know, he's coming back for 2016. I do hope he is as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, Nick's a fan. Well, I like Nick and Lewis, but you know, Nick's a fantastic guy. Really is a fantastic guy.
And a breath of fresh air, you could see with the disability as well.
Nick Hamilton is not a disability. Is nowhere near a disability. That guy is just an absolute determined, focused, immensely talented superstar athlete. Never forget that. That boy is primed for greatness.
Why not recognise him? Like, give him an OBE.
No, give him the support he needs. Because I'm telling you now, Nick thrives off fan power. He loves seeing banners in the stands. He loves people like commenting on his social media. He loves all that. It keeps him fired up. You know, just to get to the British touring cars with a disability that he had. Yeah, I mean, he's put hours, and I mean thousands of hours in the gym just to get himself in the position where he can drive at that level and be there. It's only really him being at one with the car and race and being race rusty without being out the Clios for a while and then coming back into the touring cars. Believe
it's
me,
like he's never lost him.
Once Nick's got his eye back in and connected with that car that he's in, you just watch that boy's going to fly. I'm telling you, he's going to worry a lot of people next season. Nick Hamilton is, you know, he's not a slouch, no way at all.
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood. He says, "Holding his head on mine." Yeah, so
it's hollow.
What we'll do is we will go and crack on and most probably finish there at this particular time because I know we've got an early start in the morning. Sean, it's been immense doing the season with you, mate. Thank you very much for asking.
Are we doing this again for next year? Oh, what about this Christmas thing?
Well, Christmas is around the corner, and there is a rumour we may be asking some questions on the fan page. Depending whether you've offended Gareth or not in the last 10 minutes.
It's all right, I'll edit it out.
Great. He might be watching it now, in which case the cat's already out the bag, but yeah, we'll go for that. We'll see if we edit it and get it past him. I'm sure somebody who's watching now will let him know anyway. Failing that, yeah, I think we should ask some questions around Christmas, and then what we'll most probably do is leave this. I mean, me and Sean will chat all through the winter anyway, no doubt. But what we'll most probably do is prep the shows a little differently, ready for and take the audience feedback that we've had.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we didn't give out a lot of questions out, and we didn't say a lot about like to the fans on the page, and we should probably do that for 2016. And
yeah, we need your input to make this better. We want more people on there. We want more drivers on there.
I think, to be fair, it didn't help that I didn't post a lot about like putting any questions in and getting the fans' feedback. So I should definitely do that a lot for next year.
Yeah, I think going forward, we've had a lot of feedback positive and negative, and we've tried to eliminate the negative stuff. I mean, we're just two guys with fans trying to make this thing work, really. You know, the views expressed are our own, and the idea is we all have a discussion about it, and sort of, you know, if you don't like something I've said, I don't mean any particular malice to anybody. It's just my own personal thoughts. So, you know, going forward into 2016, we really want to end up doing more meetings and more stuff for this, and hopefully make it a much better show.
Yeah, hopefully more. Well, if I would say week to week basis, but it just relies down to us if we have like free times, because I know you've got a lot of time, and like, you know, you're going to be a very busy boy indeed.
I am for the next 12 weeks, yeah, because it's just crazy at work for me at the moment. So I mean, we're hopped on this call tonight, but like literally I'm back and work in about 5 hours, so I've gotta get myself some beauty sleep, which, let's face it, I need, and then get myself
beautiful.
Yes, mate. That's really cheap webcams. That's what's making me look good. All that pixelation.
Oh, you should see me. I'm like all winkly away from the cameras. Oh, yeah, tell you.
I tell you, mate. No, it's all right. Really, this is all. This is all
just a wick.
Yeah. Yeah, so's mine, mate. Unfortunately. Yeah. So next season, we're looking forward to it. We'll have plenty of banter, I'm sure, on race day. When we're watching on Sunday, we'll most probably keep the Facebook feed live and really get involved in it on Sunday and start chatting amongst ourselves with that on there. Hopefully, we should have this edited up by then.
Do you think? Oh, because we said this before, are we going to do like a live talking thing on the races? Because you did bring that up on a previous around the bend.
We can do, yeah, but I really feel that two things upon asking a few people about that. First of all, people will be watching the races anyway, so we wouldn't really get an audience because you'll be watching the races. So would there be any call for that? I don't know.
Maybe.
Second thing is, as well, you know, I don't want to separate you too much from David Addison.
The mute button will be fine.
We have said that we might do that as a part of the bonus round for Christmas. What we may well do is get video of one of the races and mute it and then commentate on it. I think that could be quite funny.
Or if you want, like when you see like Steve Ryder like saying stuff, mute it and then you can just lip read what he's saying.
Yeah, I've got a. We play a game in our house which is mute Steve Ryder. You know that bit where they all get each other together and there's like a pack of four of them discussing the races?
Yeah.
We hit the mute button sometimes and just replace the voice of Tim Harvey just for a laugh. And it's hilarious. We don't mean no malice, Tim. It's just funny. It's something that we as a family sit around and enjoy. So it's great. It's quite funny. It works quite well. So it's a game that you might want to play. So mute your favourite commentator and place the words with some of your own.
Why not have the Btcc drinking game?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. You know something? I tried a drinking. I had a friend down the other week, and we played a drinking game. I think it was at the Rockingham round, and the Rockingham round consisted. We had to take a drink every time Louise Goodman got something wrong on the grid.
That'd be a lot.
I was plastered by race 2. I'm only joking. Let's face it, right? Louise has had some corking auto cue errors this year. She's had a blinder of a year. There's some, and bless her, she's kept going. She's such a professional. She just keeps going, and I love that about her. I really do. Yeah, I think she's a good addition to the team. It's very rare she messes up, but when she does it with style. God bless her. Right, so we will most probably finish up there then for that. It's been a fantastic season. Thanks for watching. Anything else you want to add, Sean, before we say ciao?
That just been a fantastic season, and thanks to people who have hopefully watched us.
Yeah.
Which I hope there's been a few.
Or hopefully uploaded us in the first place. Yeah. So we're going to have a look through, and like I say, I mean, this is a BTCC fan group, sort of linked place. There has been suggestions from 2 or 3 people that perhaps we ought to set up our own Facebook page and put these up there on ourselves. We don't really want to break away from the group and do that sort of stuff, but like, you know, if enough people want us to do perhaps a separate show that isn't around the bend, and do something along the lines of a more regular thing, then perhaps we can look at that for 2016. But as always, you know, we really like to get involved with you on the Facebook page and on the group page, and it would be amazing to hear of you all over the winter.
And hopefully get some more driver interviews.
Yes,
hopefully.
That's the plan. That's the plan for 2016 going forward. Yes, certainly. He's excited. He's excited. Right, okay, well, we're going to have to call it there, guys. So, and ladies, of course. Thank you very much for watching Around the Bend with myself, Bart, and Sean.
Yeah, hello.
He's practicing for the dart season already. Until the next time, have a great race for the last sort of meeting. If you're going to the track, cheer on your favourite heroes, and hopefully you've had a great, fantastic British touring car season, and we'll see you hopefully for the Christmas special. Back soon. See you later. Bye.